Greetings, YouTube. Today I'm going to discuss the Expert version 3.5 book for fantasy games. The full name is A Comprehensive D20 Sourcebook for Fantasy Role-Playing Games, and rarely has a gaming product been more appropriately titled, because the word comprehensive is used correctly when this book is considered. I got this off of Amazon. I think I paid $7 for it. I just checked. There are other copies available for that price range. And this expands the role of the non-player class of expert into a full-sized product here. And it really pushes the envelope of what you can do with an expert, presenting experts as completely and utterly viable player characters, or of course non-player characters, and giving you options as to the variety and the depth of the different kinds of experts the world does in fact have. And the book uses a lot of woodcut illustrations and a lot of open source, domain free, everybody can use them kind of thing. We have, of course, the classic introduction. We have preface, availability of experts. Like, how common are they? Are you going to find an expert dealing with arachnids in a village of 100 people? And the answer is probably going to be no. Expert versus commoners. What is the difference? Why is an expert a bit different than a commoner? What can a commoner do? Can you go to a village? What can you expect your average commoner to be able to pull off? Why, so that which would then show you why you need to go find an expert. Apprentices, experts as adventurers. Again, trying to put forth the expert class as a viable class. Expert types. Then we get into subcategories, and they break these down into craftsmen, entertainers, professionals, scholars, tradesmen, and then some prestige classes. And under craftsmen, you have things like armor, blacksmith, brewer, jeweler, sculptor, shipwright, stonemason, taxidermist, and weapon maker. And under entertainers, you have things such as acrobat, actor, courtesan. On professionals, you have things like barrister, cartographer, engineer / architect, navigator, physician. Under scholars, you have alchemist, archaeologist, artificer, astronomer, sage, and scribe. And under tradesmen, you have animal trainer, exterminator, guide, merchant, miller, miner, sailor, slaver, steward, and undertaker. And then you have prestige classes such as the guild master, which is kind of self-explanatory, a spellcrafter, which is not a full-blown spellcasting class really, but kind of an expert of doing magic on a limited scale. What else we got in here? And we have a bunch of information on skills, and the skills section is actually fairly extensive. New ideas how to use skills, new skills that are appropriate. The only problem I saw with this chapter is skill points are precious. If you're working in Pathfinder, skill ranks are precious, and this expands the number of skills there are, and that's good, and it's bad, because it just dilutes the number of skill points you have or skill ranks you have available, and I think that's a bad thing. So sometimes having a lot of skills available to your character is good, and sometimes it isn't. A bunch of new feats, which, of course, every gaming book has ever been made has done, and there's one here called the alternate key ability. Now what this does is that it lets you change what statistic you use for skills. For example, if you had this feat and you used it for strength and you wanted to switch it for con, your con would then be used for all strength-based skills, which is a really nice option. I think it's very handy. Some sample characters, which is a pretty extensive list. It's like, 12 or 13 pages of sample characters. So it's a nice selection of different races and all core races, different races, and expert types, which is useful for a GM to quickly look at them, and you could easily modify them on the fly and just go with it. Bunch of magic items, some guild-specific information, costs, some expert XP awards, like how does an expert acquire XP over time. And one chapter I really liked, which is the expert work areas, which gives floor plans of buildings of different types that expert would use, like a smith or an alchemist shop or things like that. And I think they were computer generated. They're a little darker. They're not just plain white floor plans. I think they were rather well done. Now, one thing in this I thought was really fascinating was the weapons maker. The weapons maker, these experts get simple weapon proficiency, and almost all of them get light armor, no shields. But the weapons maker, because he uses weapons so much more, because it's what he does for a living, if they have 6 ranks in weaponsmithing, and craft weaponsmithing, they get a single proficiency in a martial or exotic weapon, basically emphasizing the weapon that they specialize in. And for every 3 additional ranks in that skill, they get another proficiency. I really like this. I think it really is thematic. It makes sense. And yes, I know a first level fighter would have all these weapons, all the martial weapons anyway. But I still think it's interesting. It makes a character that's a little unusual, and it's actually justification for having a character that knows a bunch of unrelated exotic weapons, is because he's showing off his wares. It's what he does. I really like that, the way that was done. So if you want information about experts, and this book's going to have everything you could conceivably want about experts, this is a must-have, and it's $7 a used copy, and mine's a used copy and it looks brand new. You know, you can't lose.